I knew you were going to do something.
Hello and welcome to the Board Game Basement with me, AZ Ghosty, and of course Ghosty's mate, who is Alice, once again. And we've got Judge Judy joining us, and why wouldn't we have Judge Judy? Because of course we're playing Lawyer Up by Rock Manor Games. Exciting times. We were able to get this before it was going to be released in shops, and we had a blast, and this is what we think, really.
Going to rename me.
What? What are we doing?
Loser.
No, we're not renaming you Loser. It's hard when you're playing the best. You know, I learned from the best. Judge Judy has been overseeing our courtroom drama, and what a drama it has been. We've been fortunate enough to be able to play a few games of this and have a good old lawyer up.
Yeah.
Ing.
Lawyer upping.
Yeah.
Upping.
Verb. New one.
I tried, guys. I tried.
She did very well, actually. She actually did very well. So it's the first time Alice has done a draft of cards. So give her a round of applause for that.
I got it the second time.
You did, yeah, you did. But it's a different concept.
Yeah.
So this is a small, compact game for 2 players, in which case you're playing the prosecution and the defence in various cases. The base game comes with 2 cases that you can play. One about a forgery, one about a murder. And then they also have these expansions, which gives a bit more variety and a bit of extra theme. So you've got the Salem Witch Trials, which we played and enjoyed. And then you've got The Godfather, if you fancy a bit of that. Each of these sort of changes things up from the base game, which we liked, didn't we? Because it was slightly different. So it changed the game a little bit.
Different artwork as well.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. Presentation-wise, components, absolutely fine for what it does. As a card game for 2 players, I think it's got enough in it. Certainly has.
Yeah.
Everything's well presented. We learnt to play the game really easy. Rodney, the famous man from Watch It Played, guided us through on our lovely TV along with Judge Judy. And you learnt to play really easy. I would definitely recommend anyone just using Rodney's video because
so easy to follow, isn't it?
Yeah, really easy to follow, and you don't need he talks you through it as you do it, and you can both sit there and watch it and pick it up. It's really, really simple. You're not explaining a vast game which you kind of need to read the rule book and then listen. No, we just got straight on with it, didn't we? And it was really easy. So big kudos to Rodney for that. Really happy with that video. So the game plays really simple. One side is the prosecution, one side is the defence. You've got a case to defend, and you draft cards out of a case deck, and you're deciding which card you want to keep, which card you want to give to your opponent, and which card you want to just get rid of out of the game altogether. Once you've got your cards, you'll then shuffle them into a base prosecution or base defence deck, and that forms your deck for the game. You'll take 5 cards out of that hand that you've got there, into your hand, and then you'll play those cards based on the witnesses that you call up. Each witness has certain symbols on them, and you're just matching the symbols to gain the points of the card. Trying to match the symbols, yeah. In the best way you can, to string a case together. And the idea being that the matching symbols make a more logical argument for the jury. You'll gain points as you're both playing these cards. When you've either run out of cards or you can't play any because you've got none that match, then you'll pass. Once both players have passed, you see who's got the most points. Whoever has the most points claims the witness. And on the witness cards, there's normally like a sway, a victory sway. And you'll get to influence the jury. You've got a long jury, and you can move the bias tokens more on your favour, on the prosecution or the defence. You keep going until you've run out of cards, and then the person with the most sway on their side wins the whole trial. Really simple. Like I mentioned, each of these sort of things does change it up slightly. So in the Witches one that we played, you don't have a jury. You're trying to exalt as many, or the prosecution is trying to exalt as many as they can before the defence makes you run through all your cards.
There's a mob,
so it changes it up, yeah. You've got a mob, an angry mob that you're trying to sway, really. And if the prosecution can exalt so many, then the trial is obviously, there's witches everywhere.
Witches.
Yeah. But we enjoyed it, didn't we? It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's very different.
It's different from what we've played before. I think it's a very different theme, which is nice.
Yeah.
I've not seen any sort of like trial-based games. I think if you're into sort of murder mystery stuff and you want to go that bit further and have a nice 2-player game as a trial, it's quite cool. Because the decks for each case are quite thick, aren't they? And the cards are quite cool, aren't they, in terms of what they say and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's clever how it changes the evidence from being a prosecution-based evidence to the defence. And you can kind of, we added our own spin, didn't we? So we would try and
I think you have to with some of them, don't you?
yeah, you could play this game as just a play-down card game, but I think it would lose its bit of magic, wouldn't it? Pretending you're in a courtroom and trying to just talk gibberish is quite funny,
I don't think our accents were right, though.
I'm not sure what Connecticut accents are.
No, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, I think we're right.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were good. I think so, anyway.
It added to it.
Yeah. Definitely did. It definitely did. But it's a nice, simple game. You know, I think they've done a good job of putting something that is quite complicated into not a basic thing, but something that is tangible and flows, and you can just pick it up and play it. Because court stuff is really complicated, isn't it? And that's obviously, you've got to fit a lot of a case. You have to fit a lot of stuff in. And I don't think any of it goes amiss. There's a flavour text on each card, and I think because we were making a conscious effort to read the flavour text and play the cards as trying to do it, that made it a lot better, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it didn't go, nothing was wasted on the card, which was nice. I know in other games you get, you know, strange flavour text. It won't really mean anything in terms of the context of what you're doing. So
In that current
no one will ever read,
situation.
you know, all of the cards in a deck. But with these, it kind of adds to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The cards that are in your base hand, the prosecution cards and the defence cards, those cards you use for every game, and you mix those into your deck that you've drafted from the actual case. Those cards are a bit mundane, aren't they? And a bit sort of...
Well, this is what I was saying to you, wasn't
Yeah.
it? There was some that come up and you just think, well, obviously at the moment we're in the 1600s, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go with it, but...
I suppose you have to make it make sense, don't
you can just change it, which I think we tried to do a few times.
Yeah.
And if we couldn't, if our imagination was lacking, we'd just say what is in the top of the cards.
But
I'm just arguing that.
There's more case cards than there is your base cards. I think there's 26, isn't there?
Yes.
26 cards in
27.
your... No, 27 then.
Yeah.
Cards in each deck, and then you mix in the case cards, which is quite a lot. So they get sort of diluted within the actual... You'll always have a few cards in your hand that are based on the case that you can try and just... You can add flavour to it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's very rare that you just get a full hand of your base cards.
Yeah, very rare.
Which is irritating. It did happen to me, but it's irritating because you can't really do a lot.
No.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Or you've got a really good hand, and then there's only a certain way you can put them down because of the symbols, and then someone objects.
Mm-hmm.
Someone
I think you could. I mean, what have they specified this game for 13 and above, and I agree with that. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play it with anyone less, just because. Not that it's complicated, but it is. I don't know. You wouldn't play it with anyone younger, would you? Really?
I
don't think it would lose interest.
The concept of courts would be lost on them.
Yeah, probably.
Basically.
So I think that age is about right. Time-wise, they've given 60 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once you learn the game and you're in the flow, you can go. The
Yeah.
game has a solo mode. It has different variants in it that you can mix it up. If one player is particularly good, you can make it so you can add bias to the jury. You can add bias to the judge, meaning that the opposite side just gets a bit of an advantage when they begin, which is quite cool. So you can balance it out. It's nice that they sort of thought about that either way. It's quite tactical. You've got a number of options. Your opponent can object to certain cards that you put down, and those cards normally are like your linking cards. And what I mean by that is they normally contain a lot of symbols, meaning that your next card can then be played. And if you can... that's how I won the last game, is I just guessed that Alice didn't have any other cards to match that one, and I got rid of it, and she couldn't do anything.
So
that's why there's one card just there.
So my string of cards afterwards, I was like, oh, I'm going to get so many points, I could string all these together, and he just objected it, and that just meant that the rest of my hand was useless.
It is really irritating when that happens. Though.
Yeah, but you let out the biggest cackle. You were so
because
proud
I
of
was,
yourself.
I wasn't proud.
So
I
proud
just
you
guessed. I wasn't proud. It was just the sweet sense of victory. That's what I mean. That's why Judge Judy's so
Look
happy.
how happy she is. She's so proud of you.
She is. I know. Definitely is. But we had a nice time. Like Alice has mentioned, the artwork is different for the cases, which is good.
I think it sort of goes with the theme of each one.
They've done it with the theme, which is nice. They've not kept things, the same. Like I was saying, there's a lot of variation in the case and a lot of variation in the pictures and things, which fits the theme of what you're doing, which again gets you in that mood, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And how they've changed this court around was good. Like it wasn't overcomplicated. How you win and lose is different, but it's all very easily laid out for you, isn't it? And explained in just a little pamphlet book.
Video.
It didn't take us long though, did it? Well, there's not a video for this one, is there?
No, I was on about the how-to that we watched. That was
it. So because this was your first card game, really, I think, wasn't it? We've played.
Yeah.
What did you think of the concept of the card game
the
compared
actual concept
to
of the card
a bigger game like what we've played?
I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It was different.
You like the small sort of...
I mean, it's not like I like it more or less or anything. Like I enjoy it in its own right, I think.
Yeah.
I think it just makes it bitter when I lose.
I mean, losing aside, these sort of, there's quite a lot of these sort of games around, as in these kind of like two-playery games, or even card-based games, because we've got a few games that we could play that are card games that we would probably be interested in.
Yeah.
Different style, but they're drafting and they're playing cards and things like that. Do you think that were you okay with your deck and doing all that stuff? Did you find that? Because I enjoy drafting. Like, I actually like it, going through. And you said to me, how are you so quick at this?
You were so quick. I was literally reading them like, what?
But it's that, once you get the idea in your head, you know what you need. You know what I mean? You know what you need to do. And I think it can be quite frustrating for people when they're drafting, because they almost feel like they have to overthink everything they're doing, and like you were saying, scrutinising every single bit.
Everything.
When in fact you can't actually. That's not going to help you, because there's really only one bit that's probably going to be useful in this draft. Do you know what I mean? And that can be frustrating to some people. But did you not? Were you okay then?
Yeah, I was okay. Like I say, the second time I did it, I was a lot better than the first.
Yeah,
but I think it's because
that's just because that's the first time you drafted. You didn't really get what you were supposed to be doing.
I was looking at some other bits on there, wasn't I? But yeah.
But once you got it, it was a lot easier. Wasn't it?
Definitely. Like I said, I'd like to play more games, because I want to see what other people do with this style of game as well. Because I bet there's so many different things you can do.
There's like the style of the game, as in the actual two-player, how this is kind of played, is quite, I don't know, unique, but the setting makes it unique, I think. But a lot of games utilise a draft system.
Yeah.
It'll be very different to this, what that entails. But the draft is an important part of it. You can get X-Files. Legendary, it's called. That's a card-based game, yeah. We've been watching X-Files.
Yeah, first timers. Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. I was thinking, because, like you say, murder mystery style thing, that would be really cool to do. So it is more of less of a court game and more of a detective sort of.
I'm not sure how you would do that, because I think if I like my murder mystery stuff, Solvy, I don't think I'd enjoy it if it was like this.
What? Because you wouldn't be able to? Yeah, but if you could.
Because it's not about this isn't about. There's no right answer to this game. And that's the thing. There isn't a right. There isn't a one side. You're just trying to convince a jury. There is no answer, and that's quite nice that there isn't an answer. Whereas with murder mysteries, there is an answer.
See, I felt I do have to say, I felt like the first game that we played, there was an answer. No, and you disagreed with me, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, because I could see where your cards, how if I was defence, I was the prosecution in the first one. If I was the defence, I know exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
So it's like.
I think this just means that I'm not a good defence lawyer.
Well,
so. Because I was thinking it's obvious that I'm guilty. That's what I was thinking when I was reading these things. Like, I should be going down.
But it's not. It wasn't. They never specifically say anything about somebody, do they? They're just. But
maybe
cards.
It's just how my brain works. Then, do you know what I mean?
Maybe. But overall, I think I'd say we had fun doing it, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, it was. It was
We
fun.
did have fun.
And it's a nice concept to play. I like the fact that it's 2-player. I'm glad that they just kept it like that. I am, because I don't think it needed to be any bigger or any more complicated. I think they've got a perfect level of the complexity versus what they're trying to get out of the game. I think that's bob on, really. Yeah, well, it is. I actually think it is, because we got through it. We didn't feel like it was dragging. You know, you can. It's got variations in each case, meaning you can extend the case, so you can do a full case, which is a long game. You can do a shorter case if you just want a quick game, or you can do the medium, in between game, which is nice, because you've got that variation. And the idea, they really did want to sell the replayability, I think, of each case.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause you don't want to just get it and only be able to do it once.
And it wouldn't matter if you were prosecution, if you were defence on whatever case, and whichever length you were playing, it wouldn't really matter. You wouldn't be going, "Oh, I've done this before." It just wouldn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because again, you've got a large draft, and you've got the cards that you draw after a shuffle and play determine how everything's going to go. Like you said, there is an element of luck in your draw. Sometimes it happened to me. I drew in absolute garbage, and I was like, pass. But you take the good from the bad. But it didn't happen a lot.
No, it didn't.
You were always able to get and each time we were only a few points off each other every time, weren't we? There wasn't a vast gap between us.
There was a couple of times where it was like you were way ahead of me, but mainly it was a couple of points.
It was a couple of points, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you were only able to sway like 2 jurors or out of 12 when you won. That witness, which sometimes you want to be moving more, because some cards will actually that you play will allow you to move things. Each card has its own sort of ability kind of things when you play them, and that sometimes will let you move bias from the jurors and things like that, and so that can really sway stuff. So knowing when you want to play certain cards is quite important, isn't it, in the game? And I like that because it's got that scope. I don't like funneled games, especially where they're points based and things like that, where if somebody is in the lead or going away with it, they've won, and the other person started thinking, well, there's no point in me even trying. This doesn't really have that, because it can all just move quite quickly, which is good, which is what this game needs.
Take a couple of cards and one objection, and that's it. The whole game's changed, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It has, and I like that luck element. I like to feel like even if you are behind at this point, it could all just change rapidly. I quite like that.
You don't have any experience in that.
Oh, I'd have plenty of experience. Been doing this a long time. I've plenty of experience in clawing my way back up the wall.
I'm such a sore loser. That's my problem. I really am.
Don't be sore. Don't be.
I'm working on it.
We're supposed to be. Well, that's the idea. We play this to tell people if we enjoy it or not.
Oh no, but I still enjoy it, even though I lose. I still enjoy it. I enjoy taking part, and I try. And I was so close on some bits. And that really last bit where you actually won was such. That was just pure luck. You had no idea that I couldn't play anything else. No,
it was just a guess. It was a guess. But those are the moments we like, aren't they? Those are the moments we look forward to. And this is why we play card games. So we can lose together. So we can bitter together.
Am I really that bad?
I don't. Like I said, I don't think we've played that many versus games. But we're gonna. No. We've got a mountain load to get through. To be honest,
we have got a
lot of things being sent to us. So from us at the basement, Lawyer Up by Manor Games is a Ghosty White. We did really enjoy it, and I would definitely say if you enjoy a card-based game, you're interested in getting into a card-based game, you could play this with me, player. Someone who doesn't play board games, and that's really important to us at the basement. You could easily do that, and it's a nice introduction into this. Again, they have to be interested in the theme. I think if you're not bothered about courtroom stuff, you might find it a little bit annoying. But again, it's like anything you say. If you're not interested in the theme, what's the point? But I can't think of anyone who would blatantly object to this. But yeah, that's just something to consider. But from us, Ghosty White, we really enjoyed it here. So we thank you, Rock My Games, for letting us play the game. I hope that when it comes into retail, I think it's the end of June. I do believe. This should come out in retail, I think. So grab it, and enjoy yourselves, because we certainly did. For sure. And we've got lots of things coming on the basement. We've got lots of games that we're play testing. Hopefully we'll be able to present them to you as well. That would be a really nice thing to do. Obviously if we like it and we think that it's ready to rock, then I'm sure that the many people who produce them will want us to do that. So we're really looking forward to stuff like that. And a lot of them will be sort of card games things. So it'd be nice to have a go and get into those sort of things. And we're really looking forward to being able to do it. Quite fortunate to be able to do that. And we want to bring that to you. We're still clawing our way through Madara. I know, so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we are.
We will finish that game.
She's got some new weapons to try out.
I know, so many new weapons. And this is good, split the time up between courtroom drama and then pick up a sword and slash someone.
Yeah.
You don't get
this is like prison. A quick play, isn't it? Whereas because that's a story-based one, we've got a lot going on with it, so so much to look forward to.
So much to look forward to. So from us at the basement, thank you very much for joining us once again. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them and send them to us. We're always happy to hear what you think. If you've had a chance to play it or you're interested in it, let us know. Give these guys a like as well. And we'll catch you again sometime.